Welcome to Jersey Line. Pat O'Melia here, your pro football prognosticator. I prognosticated my way to an 8-8 record last week. The only interesting thing was I was losing my FanDuel bets. I won the last two bets of the night, but I lost like the first three. So the last game was Chargers Raiders. And I think I had $52 left in the bank. So I'm going to shoot it. So I put it on the Chargers, and I took the under. And off the bet I go, and the next morning I see the score, and I'm like, I forgot I took the under. I thought I took the over. So I'm setting up to do Jersey Line this week. I get my line from FanDuel, and there it is, $190 sitting in the account. So we're back up. I hit it good. I took the line and the under. Actually, I thought I took the over. I guess when I was sleeping, I thought I had the over, but I took the under. So we're back in the business. We got $190. All right, let's go with tonight. Tonight's game is on Amazon Prime. Thursday night, it's on Amazon Prime. I don't know if Amazon made a deal with the local channels here. Unless you got Amazon Prime, you may have a problem watching the game tonight. Thursday night, we have the Rams at Seattle. I lost with the Rams last week. I think the Rams are definitely making the playoffs. I think they're a Super Bowl team. We'll have to see how this all works out because Brady gave them an education there. I like Seattle. They're always a sound bet during the year, but sometimes they just play well enough to lose, and I think that's the case tonight, a well enough to lose. This is a FanDuel bet. I'm taking the Rams in Seattle to bounce back from last week. I'm taking the Rams minus 2.5. Over-under is 54.5. It's a big over-under, but both these teams should score. Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. Yes, 9:30. Breakfast with the Jets. They're in London. So don't wait till 1 o'clock. It's 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. You got the Jets versus Atlanta. I don't know who the home team is. Jets won last week, and I said, the kid can throw. Zach Wilson, he's got a magic arm. I think the game's starting to slow down for him now. So I think the Jets, I don't think I have a good year, but they're going to be competitive, I think. I'm going to ride with the Jetsy in merry old England. I'm taking the Jets plus 3, over under 46.5. 1 p.m., Philadelphia, Carolina. Carolina played Dallas tough. You know, Sam Darnold's looking pretty damn good right now. Carolina also just made a trade with New England for Malloy, so they got some defensive backfield help if he's healthy enough to play. They wanted to renegotiate his contract in New England. He said no, so he is gone. So we got Philly at Carolina. Carolina, I'm going to take minus 3.5. I am not a believer in Philadelphia this year. It's a low over-under, 44.5. This could be a higher shootout. You never know. But I'm going to take Carolina, minus 3.5. 1 p.m., the Battle of Florida. Miami versus Tampa Bay. If there's one team that always gives Tom Brady a problem, it's Miami. Historically, for 20 years, it's been a problem. He beats them, but it ain't even. But I'm going to go with TB12 again. I'm going to tell you, every time I go with TB12, it costs me. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, minus 10, over-under 47.5. Tampa Bay, minus 10 against Miami. 1 o'clock game, New Orleans at Washington. Talk about a Jekyll and Hyde team. No, whichever way I go with New Orleans, you should go the other way. Because that's what's happened all year. You know, I pick New Orleans to win, they lose. I pick them to lose, they win. They're at Washington. Washington's got a damn good defense, and I like the Heineke kid. You know, he's got the starting job now. I'm going to go with Washington. They're at home, and they're getting 2.5 points. I'm taking that home underdog, 2.5. Over under 44.5. 1 o'clock, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Embarrassed last week by Tennessee, and Tennessee themselves were embarrassed. I look for a bounce back against the winless Jacksonville Jaguars with Urban Meyer having some issues of his own there from hanging out in a bar in Ohio and a young lady grinding against him. I'm going to go with Tennessee, minus 4.5, over under 48.5. That might be one of the bets of the week there. Detroit at Minnesota. Again, Detroit plays well enough to make it interesting, and then they manage to shoot themselves in the foot at the end. I'm not a big believer in Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a snake bit team and a coach that's on the hot seat right now. I'm going to roll with Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit. I'm getting 8.5 points. The over-under is 49.5. Denver at Pittsburgh. I'm a Big Ben fan. Always liked him. I think Big Ben is done. He doesn't look the same. He's older now. He's been sacked a lot in his career, and his arm looks tired. I'm going to go with Teddy Bridgewater and Denver. They're playing pretty good. They couldn't keep up with Baltimore last week, but Pittsburgh is not Baltimore. I'm going to take Denver plus 1.5, over under 39.5. FanDuel, 1 o'clock. Green Bay versus Cincinnati, in Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati, won with them last week. Green Bay, I won with also. My deal here is, who should I pick? I'm going to go with the experience over Burrows here with Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a team on the rise. I'm going to take Green Bay -3 in Cincinnati, over under 51.5. New England at Houston. Great game last week. Actually, New England should have beat Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks, but that didn't work out. They hooked the kick at the end. It was ridiculous. I'm surprised they didn't try to go for a first down there. I think it was, 56-yard field goal in the rain? But they lost. I'm going to take New England versus Houston, because Houston is rudderless. Yeah, they have no quarterback, but they got a great one inactive until they trade him. I'm going to take New England -8.5 at Houston. Houston was shut out last week. Over under 39.5. I'm looking at a shutout again. Probably would go with the under on that. 4 p.m. Chicago at Las Vegas. Justin Fields has been named the starter going all the way back. Whether Dalton is healthy or not, Dalton is accepting of it, the Red Rifle. Hopefully he gets another team to lead again. He's going to be the backup. Now, they got a lot of good backups there. You got Dalton and Nick Foles there in Chicago. And you got the kid, Justin Fields, is now the starter. Chicago at Las Vegas. Vegas lost last week, but you know what? They're playing pretty tough. Gruden got the team in the right direction. I'm going to take the Vegas Raiders, -5.5, over under 44.5. That might be one of the ones you're looking at an over on. 4 o'clock, probably one of the games of the week. Cleveland at not San Diego. Cleveland at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Won with them last week. Actually, didn't realize I won as big as I did. Chargers, I'm going to take -1.5, over under a 46.5. That might be something you're looking at an over for. 4 p.m., my New York Football Giants, I'm in the white today, we're on the road, at Dallas. We are going to get obliterated there. Even though Daniel Jones was the offensive player of the week last week, Giants got their first victory last week. Of course, I picked against them. I'm going to take Dallas -7, over under a 52.5. So somebody at FanDuel is thinking this is going to be a high-scoring game. FanDuel. 4 o'clock game. San Francisco at Arizona. The kid, Trey Lawrence, is starting. Jimmy G is injured. I don't think he's going to be starting. I don't think Jimmy G is in play. He hasn't been completely called out yet. But he's definitely questionable. I think that Lawrence gets a start. I'm going with Arizona. You know, they're putting on the greatest show on turf going on out there in Arizona. I'm taking Arizona at home, -5.5, over under a 50.5. FanDuel bet, 8 o'clock, probably the game of the week. Buffalo at Kansas City. Buffalo needs to make the statement. They have to beat KC. KC hasn't been doing a good job covering the line. They did last week, but they haven't done a good job since the end of last year and the beginning of this season. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I'm getting 3. Over under is huge, 56.5. But this could be a real shootout between Allen and Mahomes. Monday night, the Colts are returning to Baltimore. The Indianapolis Colts. Now, as you know, they were the Baltimore Colts since the beginning of time until they left in the middle of the night to move to Indianapolis. They're at Baltimore. Should be interesting. I'm going to go with Baltimore. Won last week with them. I'm going to take Baltimore -7 against the Colts. Over under 46.5. That's your Monday night. Listen, bet smart. Don't go crazy. You know, on FanDuel, you can bet like $10, $5. You can bet whatever you want. Bet smart. Maybe bet with me. You know, I've been 500 for the last 2 weeks. But enjoy the games. Good luck. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.